It's Solar Dynamics, the most efficient solar hot water system.
You're watching CBC TV 8 in beautiful Barbados.
And a very good afternoon to you. I'm Lisa Lloyd with the CBC News Break. Barbados and the European community continue to develop closer relations, and the island is set to sign a €3.5 million finance agreement with the European Union. Prime Minister Fundell Stewart made the disclosure at the first EU-Caribbean Sustainable Energy Conference.
Later in the year, my government expects to sign a finance agreement with the European Union for the provision of a further €3.5 million for the execution of a budget support program, which will assist us in further modernizing and developing the sustainable energy sector.
The Prime Minister also expressed concern about the inability of countries to fully capitalize on the EPA and the EU's concept of differentiation.
Of great concern to the region beyond these considerations, however, is the issue with respect to the EU's move to the concept of differentiation to determine support for the ACP countries. This adjustment in the development policy of the EU to the region, which will reduce support to those countries that are classified as middle income and move bilateral assistance to a regional platform, has come at an unfortunate time as the region is still fighting off the worst effects of a debilitating economic recession.
Talks are ongoing to improve the PSV sector and stave off possible wide-scale strike action. Minister of Transport Michael Lashley is currently in talks with members of the two representing associations. That's the Alliance of Owners of Public Transport and the Association of Public Transport Operators at his Pine St. Michael office. The meeting, which was postponed until today, comes as some owners kept their minibuses and route taxis off the road for another day. Now, yesterday's strike, however, did not seriously impact commuters as several routes were operating as normal. A number of drivers and conductors say they were not alerted about the action. Though disappointed by the lack of support, spokesperson of the Joint Committee Ingrid King sought to clear the air with respect to support for the strike.
These organizations are not trade unions. Membership in them is not compulsory, and we are not claiming to have the membership of all or even any particular percentage of the members of the privately owned public service vehicles. What happened, to put it in perspective, is that there was a call and facilitated. The owners that were there overwhelmingly took the decision to go ahead with withdrawing their service. We said publicly that we supported that action based on the reasons that they took the withdrawal. Now, the position today is that many of those same operators, plus some additional operators, have agreed to support that action.
And Minister of Transport Michael Lashley says his ministry is working to address concerns raised by the owners and operators.
The fines that a certain magistrate is placing some onerous fines on them. I said they cannot get involved in that because that matter is a separation of powers issue. I cannot influence the judiciary. I said to them, go and get a lawyer and appeal. So that is out of my plate. Issue of duty-free concessions, the matter of Baxter's Road. We've been in constant dialogue with the Commissioner of Police. We have evidence that we have sent letters on behalf of the Transport Authority representing the work of the operators in relation to Baxter's Road. We've had a lot of discussions with them. We've not reached a conclusion as yet with the police, but I believe that they were stretched, of course, in their work, and I think given a little time, they will send us a letter with their conclusions very shortly. But we've gotten the verbal conclusions from them, but we cannot rely on a verbal conclusion. We want to be placed in a document.
And Mr. Lashley also provided an update on work on the new River Van Stand facility.
The contract will be shortly awarded for the construction of the concourse out there at River Terminal. The MPW personnel is constantly they're working on it. We hope to open that first building in November. We have actually provided toilets downstairs and toilets upstairs, better facilities for for workers, better facilities for passengers. All of those things that we're doing. We're reforming the Road Traffic Act to ensure that they're disciplined within the sector. All those things we're doing.
A man from the same Jackson community as Kevin Brewster, who was murdered last Friday, has been charged in connection with his death. 34-year-old Brewster of Arsenal Playing Field Road was shot in the head last Friday afternoon while in Jackson in the area of the Nazarene Church. 25-year-old Shamar Omar Ishmael of First Avenue Jackson will have his day in court today, where he will face the charge of murder. Meantime, the search is on for St. Michael man who is being sought in connection with serious criminal matters. Wanted is 45-year-old Ricky Kenneth Yearwood, his last known address 3rd Avenue, Grisettes. Yearwood is about 5 feet 4 inches tall, of stocky build, has a light brown complexion and curly locks. The Guardians of Color in Barbados have just become the 11th Guardian of our heritage. This is Harris Paints. Barbados unveiled its logo and the flag hoisted in its name this morning here at the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. Charles Curtin, who is head of the company's business unit, says they're glad for the opportunity to join with other entities to celebrate the island's independence.
Over the last 44 years, we have strived as the locally owned paint company in Barbados to live up to the reputation of pride in industry. And as we look forward, we at Harris Paints, we seek to enrich the lives of our fellow Caribbean citizens and indeed our Caribbean neighbors. We seek to provide world-class products, services and solutions that will bring superior visual delight and longer-lasting care and protection to our nation's surroundings.
And broadcaster here at the CBC, Kimberly Skeet, thanked Harris Paints for coming on board.
Having been in the field of making sure that they're champions of color since 1972, that's been 44 years of the journey, and you've grown with Barbados. And as we celebrate 50 years, we also want to welcome you and congratulate you for the strides that you have made, and also continuing to be within each and everyone's household with color, with choice, with greening our environment, and of course continuing to be innovative.
Well, efforts to modernize the Barbados Customs and Excise Department and bring changes to the major revenue collection agencies must not be resisted. This contention from Minister of Industry, International Business, Commerce and Small Business Development, Donville Innes, who is urging compliance as the facilitation of trade is being streamlined in the region. Minister Innes was speaking at the opening of the regional consultation on the CARIBCOM strategy for regional implementation of the World Trade Organization Agreement on Trade Facilitation.
I urge those still in doubt to look at the big picture, because I firmly believe that this island, like the rest of the Caribbean islands, really needs to settle down and get on with some serious work. The government's aim is to make these operations more efficient and effective as we seek to promote competition, strengthen our revenue collection capabilities, reduce congestion at the ports of entry, speed up legitimate trade, and enhance the protection of our borders and by extension our communities.
Well, stay with us. We'll have regional and international news right after this break.